Welcome to another episode of See New York, where we show you the landmarks, hip hop, and life. Today we are here back in Fort Greene, downtown Brooklyn area. And behind me you see the legendary Junior's Eatery. Junior's has a lot of interesting history, long history here in New York, here in Brooklyn, New York, everywhere. In particular, this location behind me, owned by Harry Rosen and the Rosen family, has been here since 1929. And as far as the name Junior's, it was established as the name of Junior's in 1950. Everybody here in the downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene area has been here to get a slice of cheesecake, or to get their eat on for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and things of that sort. So I just wanted to point out a lot of different landmarks and different things that's happened here in the Fort Greene, downtown Brooklyn section. Okay, three of the things I can think of that have been very historical here. You'll notice this eatery behind me is the place where making of the band went to get their cheesecake for P. Diddy. He told them to get a cheesecake, so they walked from the Times Square area over the Manhattan Bridge over here to get their slice of cheesecake for P. Diddy. Also here, you'll notice behind me, you'll see the Junior sign rather is where when Ill Al Scratch did Where's My Homies, they did their video here, and Junior's figured prominently in their video. And also presidential wise, I'm aware former President Bill Clinton got his cheesecake here, and also in 2013 ex-President Barack Obama, he got his cheesecake here, along with then candidate, now our mayor, New York Mayor de Blasio. So this has been a very historical place, and a lot of different things has happened here. So I'm going to show you even more things. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to show you even more things that are going on in downtown Brooklyn. And before I take you on a journey through all the other things that's happened here in downtown Brooklyn, I also would like you to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get the likes up. Let's get our subscribes up. So we could continue to show you all the great things here in See New York. Also let me give a shout out to, I got a heavy Jersey presence so far as on the like. So shout out to everybody in Linden, Rahway, Elizabeth, Newark, Jersey City, and of course everybody here in Fort Greene, Bed-Stuy, Bronx, and all over the New York metro area. I appreciate that. All right, so the next location, which is right behind me, which is the old Albee Square Mall, which they call now City Point. I'm going to give you a lot of history and a lot of different things that came about. City Point becoming established. But back in the day it was called Albee Square Mall. Okay, now we up the block. Behind me is what they call now City Point. City Point is like what they call a mixed-use building, residential and commercial. This historical place behind me, back in the days, was before it was City Point. In 2016, before it became City Point, it first was the Albee Square Theaters, the movie theaters, RKO. And that was the movie theaters, I say, from 1925 to 1978. That's when it was like where you could see your movies here. After that, I would say the 1980s to the year 2008 rather, it became the famous Albee Square Mall, where hip hop made it famous. One of the reasons, of course, Biz Markie, he had a song called Albee Square Mall off his first album, Going Off. He honored this mall with a song. Also, Biz Markie met Big Daddy Kane here. Another historical interesting fact. that they used to battle rhyme and different things like that. So we met those, we were fortunate to have those two great artists. This is one of the reasons, because they met here at the Albee Square Mall. Also, when you look at past music videos, you'll see Third Base's Brooklyn, Queens, where the Albee Square Mall was a star in that video. And when, the cameraman points to the old Dime Savings Bank, you'll see Prime Minister Pete Nice, talking to, a video model in that video. So, next time you see Brooklyn, Queens, you'll see, all of those. And also, too, just if you're just a resident, here in the downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene area, you remember Albee Square Mall, because this is where you would, play your, video games. It had a nice arcade where, you would play your, get your video game on, your pinball game on, and stuff like that. So that's a lot of the historical significance of this building, past and present. And of course, now, if you go there today, you'll also see a Target store. You'll see a food court downstairs, a new movie theater upstairs. And as one of my cameraman, Mr. Harvey Starlight, he remembers it, he remembers it being a movie theater and stuff like that, So next time you come, here in the downtown Brooklyn area, come by City Point, especially enjoy that food court downstairs. It has a lot of, different eateries and stuff that, should soothe your taste buds. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're going to go across the street to another legendary place that was called Beach Street Records, where vinyl enthusiasts would buy their vinyl and things like that. So we're going to go across the street, and I'm going to share more memories of Beach Street. All right, we're across the street. Speaking of legendary landmarks and different things here in downtown Brooklyn, right behind me, from 1995 to 2016, you would come here to Beach Street Records to get your vinyl. Vinyl enthusiasts from all over Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, everywhere, even out of town, would come here and, get their latest vinyl. I'm also aware that, a lot of Brooklyn legends, Big Daddy Kane, Busta Rhymes, MC Lyte, would come here to promote their records. And another special thing about this particular place, Beach Street Records, back in the days, they had a lot of the dance hall as well. You would get your dance hall vinyl, here. And also the fact that before you bought an album, the DJ would spin the album that you wanted in the store before you bought it. So you had that experience. And it was interesting. I was talking to Mr. Starlight, Mr. Harry Starlight, my cameraman, before we did the filming, and I was just saying that that's one of the tragedies of this digital era, that we don't have the record stores like we used to be. It was like a social place. You would be able to pick the CDs that you wanted and different things like that. It was like a whole, social experience rather. Also, I'm aware that Beach Street was the largest record store in Brooklyn at the time as well, when it was here, So yeah, there's a lot of different memories. So also too, please, everybody who's looking at this video, please in the comments, share your memories of Beach Street. Okay, we're going to move to the next location. I'm going to show you real quick the block that I met Reverend Jesse Jackson. I would say circa mid to late 80s. This is around the time, he was running for U.S. president and things of that sort. So that'll be the next one, the block that I met Jesse Jackson at across the street. And then you also see the Wiz landmark and stuff. So that's coming up, but Reverend Jesse Jackson's next. Okay, also as we here in downtown Brooklyn, here on Fulton Street, and as you see the people walking by and everything like that, it kind of remind me of the old days, in that sense. But one of a cherished memory I've had, here in downtown Brooklyn, as we talk, as I'm reliving the hip hop memories and things of that sort. I remember like it was like the mid to late 80s. I seen Reverend Jesse Jackson, you know, right along this block. What is this, like Elm Place, Fulton Elm Place in, what's that, Delfield Street? At the time I was working at the Delfield movie theater. And like my coworkers were saying, yeah, Jesse Jackson is down, you know, on Fulton Street and this and this and that. So I happened just to, you know, be nosy and took a break. And I seen a crowd like somewhere in the middle of this block. And I was able to, you know, shake Jesse Jackson's hand. And he said, hello, friend, and everything like that. So that was, you know, that was a great memory to, you know, shake a hand of somebody so prominent, you know. And also it was also interesting, I would later, for one of his times he was running for U.S. president, I volunteered for his campaign, made some calls and different things like that in Manhattan and things of, you know, that sort. So that was a cherished memory, you know. So just wanted to, you know, share that with you. And last thing, I just saw another significance of Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson, he was at Tupac's bedside, you know, just before he passed in Las Vegas. So Jesse Jackson was also very instrumental, I would say, in hip hop. He know in the culture and different things like that. The fact that, you know, he would do that for, you know, Tupac, his family, and everything like that, comfort them in their time of need. So, you know, that's another aspect you should know about Reverend Jesse Jackson. Oh, and the last thing too, just to let everybody know, as far as him running for U.S. president twice, that he made it possible for Barack Obama to be a two-term president, and more importantly, the first black president of the United States. Okay, now where we're going to go to a few locations where nobody beats the Wiz. They had their stores here, and I have a lot of great memories. I used to work there as security and everything like that. And you know, I'm a break down a lot of stuff. We talk about landmarks and different things in you know, in Brooklyn. One of the things that's interesting too, I think I was talking to Mr. Starlight and Mr. Veg about one of the interesting things to me about downtown Brooklyn, let's say in the 90s, the 80s, 90s, is the fact that you would trip over a record store. You know, back in the days, well, I know now millennials talk about streaming and this and that, but before you would actually go into a physical store. You had, as you've seen, Beach Street, you had The Wiz, and you know, and a lot of indie, non-chain store, you know, record stores, so to speak. Like across J Street here in downtown Brooklyn, you had a gentleman. He was so like old CDs that, let's say, you couldn't get at, let's say at The Wiz, Tower Records, Beach Street. You would get Veg's first album there. No, I'm just kidding. Now you would get like Kool and the Gang's first album, Millie Jackson's first album, stuff like that. You know, really hard to find things, you know, at those record stores. So you had so many there. But here, where I used to work for, you know, a while, here at where it used to be The Wiz, which was great because when I did security here, you would see all the different, you know, celebrities here. You would see Biggie Smalls. He would buy his electronics here. You would see Chris Rock. You would see the person you see on Vlad TV a lot now, Lord Jamal of Brand Nubian fame. Who else would you see here? I wasn't there that day. They said they seen ODB, Old Dirty Bastard here. So, you know, a lot of different, you know, luminary celebrities and stuff like that. But one of the things I appreciated too, speaking of making connections, I ran into DJ Scratch, famous for being the DJ for EPMD. Also, he was the tour DJ for a while for Jay-Z. I met DJ Scratch here, and he gave me the number to reach out to Parrish Smith, aka PMD, and how Little C's did for me. He gave me the connect, and I was able to interview PMD a few weeks later. You know, so shout out to DJ Scratch for that. Who else? Oh, another connect I made and did an interview later. Easy Mo B. Easy Mo B, for those who didn't know, was instrumental in doing production on Biggie Smalls' first album. You know, what else? He did production for Tupac. He did productions on Miles Davis's last album. So yeah, so Easy Mo B, I met him as well, and we did an interview later. So, you would meet definitely a lot of interesting, music industry luminaries and, different things like that here. So that was definitely a cool thing. That's one of the great things of, working here. A lot of people will come here. Another thing too, another memory, but this is not downtown Brooklyn, but I seen Big Daddy Kane. I remember when I was doing security at the Wiz location in Jamaica, Queens, and I seen Big Daddy Kane had a stack full of CDs that he bought. So I seen Big Daddy Kane there, Phife Dawg of Tribe Called Quest fame. So you would see the artists out and about and, buying the CDs like any other, folk and stuff like that. So that was that's definitely a cool thing. Okay, that's a history lesson on here. Last thing I wanted to say before, other memories, I do. Also met Biggie Smalls, I guess you would say bodyguard, assistant, D-Rock. D-Rock, I met like after Biggie Smalls passed, and I said, hey man, what you used to do? I used to see you come here with Biggie Smalls. What you used to do, man? He said, yeah, man, I was his road manager, this and that. But in rap, when you say road manager, that could also be bodyguard and other stuff too. But it was cool, man. Shout out to D-Rock. It was good to meet you that day and everything like that. So that was a cool thing. All right, anyway, so we're gonna go to the last Wiz location. I'm gonna break down other things and people I met there and, things of that sort. Okay, we're here at the final Wiz location. And like I say, it's interesting that at the time, the mid-90s, early 2000s, that these electronic stores were so big and popular. You Tower Records and, stuff like that. Circuit Cities. So we're in front of, which I was been told was the first Wiz location, ever. The first Wiz location ever was in back of us. And who owned the Wiz? The Wiz locations, the Wiz stores rather, the Wiz chains, was the four Jamal brothers. And they were originally from Brooklyn, So another Brooklyn success stories. So the four brothers owned the Wiz, and like I say, what was that? 1977 was the first Wiz store location to open, and then it grew to 94 at its peak. All along the East Coast, from of course here the New York metro area, Massachusetts, Maryland, D.C. It was all over the place. And excuse me. Yeah, so this is where, it all started, and it, expanded, mushroomed, and, went all over the place. One of the interesting things here about, the Wiz 2 for me, is I ran into my old high school buddy, him from Ducktown Records, Sean Price. Yeah, me and him, went to high school together and everything like that. We had falling out a little bit, but I'm glad that we was like friends. We had a falling out, but we came back together. It was cool or whatever, So I'm glad that everything was cool before he passed. And one of the funny things about when Sean Price he came to the Wiz, I was playing a song. I was able to control the music behind the security thing that I'm behind. Whatever. And so Sean Price came in the Wiz. It was like, yo, man, why you ain't playing my music? Joking and all that stuff like that. So that was funny, man. And it was good. He made me feel like I was a DJ. So I'm like, man, these record labels should be hiring me, man. These recording artists actually why their music's not being played. So, but that was good, man. And another thing about Sean Price, too, God rest his soul, I would have liked to see, because I seen the comedic part of Sean Price, man. I wonder if he would, like to say, if he was like a platinum artist or whatever, I wonder if he would have got into movies and stuff, because, Sean Price was a, funny brother. He had a sense of humor about him, type thing. My cameraman is agreeing, yeah. Yeah, man, Definitely, man. What else? One of my coworkers also introduced me to Phyllis Hyman's music director. And, I met him while I was there and stuff like that, and things, and me when I network or whatever. So I was saying, hey, man, I would like to interview, Phyllis Hyman one day. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And, Phyllis Hyman eventually passed away, I guess a year or two after that or whatever. But it was, it was still nice meeting him and, and stuff. And what else? Oh, and another great memory is one of the great memories I had here, rather working at the Wiz, is that like sometimes I would walk someone to the cash register, and like everybody, my coworkers asked me, "Yo, kid, who's that? Who's that?" Because they know I was interviewing a lot of people, meeting people, whatever, you know. So one of the people I walked to the register was Donald Harrison, the jazz great. You know, I was able to get him a discount or whatever on the CDs, you know, and things of that sort. And Donald Harrison, in one of my episodes, you know Donald Harrison too, as he's the gentleman who introduced Biggie Smalls into like jazz, soul, and stuff like that. You know, when there was Neighbors on St. James Place, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely this is a lot of, and so as you can see, it's a lot of different, you know, history and things about, you know, this place, you know, downtown Brooklyn, you know. All right, so I'm gonna show you a final place that maybe, I don't know, too many people know about, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna reveal it to you when we get in front of Models. Okay, now, now we're in front of Models. Models here in Brooklyn, right off of Fulton and Red Hook Lane. I'm going to, you know, tell you the historical significance about, you know, Models, everything. This Models in particular. But I just wanted to also tell everybody out there in YouTube land that, you know, please like and subscribe. You know, please remember that. So, you know, we could get our numbers up and, you know, things of that sort, and, you know, how you say, get more viral, you know, with the likes and the, you know, subscriptions and everything like that. So please like and subscribe, you know, when you have a chance. Also, too, what I like to say as well, everybody who, you know, a couple of people have told me that they would like me to cover an event, you know, they would like to, the See New York crew to come, you know, cover certain things or whatever like that. If you want to, you know, have us come to an event or this and that, you want to know more and, you know, other info, you know, email me at my name, Keir Walker 40 at gmail.com. And, you know, email me, and then I'll, you know, let you know about, you know, what it'll take for us to come out and cover your event and different things like that. Also, too, speaking of covering an event and this and that, I want to give a shout out to my, you know, my camera team, you know, Mr. Harry Starlight and the Rockerazzi General, Mr. Big Veg. You know, shout out to the gentleman for the visuals and everything like that. Okay, behind me, what makes this building very historical and different things like that, this is the place where DJ Self, before he got on Power 105, before Love and Hip Hop, before, you know, going to travel the country and play all the big venues in New York, DJ Self was a shoe salesman here. You know, so you're getting an exclusive.
I can remember I've had two jobs. One was in the McDonald's and one was in Models. My boss or my supervisor at Models happened to become the boss and supervisor at Sirius XM. Right. You know, when we was the one getting, I gotta get size 9 from Al 3. Right. You know, he reached back out. Yo, you still DJ? And I was like, yeah. He said, yo, I do this satellite radio.
So this just goes to show you that you can start from a certain space and then go to the next level, you know? And also, the gentleman that helped put my brother on, he's, what was that? Program director at Sirius XM, you know? So he started here as well. So this goes to show that different things that, you know, you wouldn't expect, you know, persons stay at one place and they blow up to the next level, you know? So definitely that gives us all hope that, you know, this, you know, where you start is not where you're going to finish, basically. You know what I'm trying to say, you know? So next time you see DJ Self, you can let him know. I see the place that you worked with. You worked in downtown Brooklyn before you became a big shot and all that stuff, you know? But yeah, man. So thank you, everybody, for watching, you know, See New York, you know, our trip, you know, here to downtown Brooklyn. You know, thank you for your support. I just also wanted to say too to the subscribers. Every time I'm in Linden, you know, I get, you know, everybody tells me that they enjoy, you know, what they're seeing and stuff like that. So again, shout out to everybody in Linden, Elizabeth, Rahway, Union, Jersey City, Newark, here in the 5 boroughs, Brooklyn, the BX, Q Borough, everything. Thank you everybody for watching. We're going to have, more things coming up, and stuff like that. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.